Stuart, I have a question.
Yes.
Um, I was wondering if you could talk about um, through the practice. I know that you speak often of developing a chakra system and getting stronger inside. And I was wondering if you could talk about the balance between opening and trying and developing versus allowing getting out of the way of the progress or what that journey is like. Because I find myself sometimes pulled into trying an effort and then remind myself of times you've talked about relaxation and just am curious about that duality.
No, I think the answer to that is patience. That as you continue to work on yourself, you find out what you need to do, both internally, externally, how you have to live your life, how much effort you have to make, and how little effort and more just deep relaxation. To relax deeply is a very difficult thing to do. And people substitute making it happen for just relaxing to where the higher energy can come into their system and it really creates for us and overcomes the blocks and the tensions and all the different encumbrances that keep us from having a spiritual life. So it's patience. Look, I've been doing this 50 years. It's a long time. In that time, I had to have learned something about how this works. I listened to 1,000 talks that my teacher gave. I cannot remember in my mind one talk he ever gave. Every talk he ever gave, the energy of the talk is inside me. I surrendered. I took in the Shakti. I allowed the Shakti to transform my system inside. And ultimately, it began to surface exactly what was happening. And you begin to see it in your everyday life, and you begin to see the enormous possibilities that it has to transform you as a human being. But it's all about patience. For me, when I was younger, and even today, it's doing what is necessary to grow spiritually, both inside myself and in the objective world, material world, the world that we live in, this Maya that we live in. I've learned after years of doing this how to make the choices that help me to grow spiritually. And that's both objectively and subjectively. So, the whole answer to your question is time and the amount of work that you invest in opening inside, in building an inner life, in finding priorities and how important those priorities are for your spiritual growth. All of this becomes clear as the chakra system gets stronger inside. When the chakra system is not strong inside, none of this is clear. We are being afflicted by people, by emotions, by insecurity, by a million different things come like we're being targeted by a hive of bees, that, that our system isn't strong enough to be able to deal with. But as the chakra system gets stronger, it all gets clearer. And for me, it became, wow, if it got this clear, how much more clear can it get? I have to work deeper on myself, ultimately to become nothing, to let go of every encumbrance that is keeping me from becoming one with higher energy. This is incrementally possible. You can't do it in one breath. It takes time, it takes patience, it takes profound inner work. It takes priorities, and it takes choice. And building that kind of system that doesn't allow that hive of bees to come and sting us, you know? We are strong enough to be able to absorb and transform all of the encumbrances into a spiritual life. That takes time. And the step-by-step growth gives you patience with yourself so that you can do what I'm talking about over time. And it becomes a permanent reality inside you, not just something you experience and, then suddenly it's gone. I mean, I used to have people, especially when I ran that art gallery, I owned an art gallery selling a lot of mostly Hindu and Buddhist art and, ancient stuff from Tibet, China. And I used to have people come in all the time, all the time. I mean, it was a constant, telling me about the great Kundalini experience they had 20 years ago. And I'd look at them in my gallery and they were half dead. But 20 years ago, they had some experience of light, fire, burning at the base of the spine, energy, and you can't live your life for the day you were married. You have to understand that a marriage is a day by day effort to make it work. If you walk around thinking how wonderful it was, when we got married, and 20 years later, it's a whole other thing. It works because you work at it day by day by day by day. And that gives you the strength and the patience to deal with encumbrances, to deal with another human being in your life, to deal with all the stuff that life presents us.
Thank you.
And mostly just to deal with yourself. I always say it in terms of spiritual growth, we are our own worst enemy. And we have to learn how to transform our emotions, our fear, et cetera, into energy that really nurtures us inside and gives us life. Does anyone else have a question? I hope it's clear what I'm talking about because it's really important. This.
Stuart,
Yes.
uh, as a byproduct of this work, as we go deeper, we realize that our understanding of what linear time means changes. That there's only the now, this moment. What role does that play in our growth when we reach that level
Well,
of understanding?
what, Larry, we come to realize that every moment from past to the present to the future is the now. Every moment is the now. Every moment in the past was the now. And this meditation class in 10 minutes is going to be the past. What you take from this class determines how you live in the future. What you take from the now determines how you live in the future. And it's a very important thing because we're masters at forgetting, and we should be masters at remembering, what the now gave us, what we learned this moment, and how we can use it every moment in the future. And not to assume anything and to understand that the now never goes away. And sometimes the now is pretty bad, but it's also there to teach us what we need to learn to grow in our lives. because the now is a reflection of exactly where we're at any given moment. It really is. I mean, we can't blame anybody but ourselves for the way we live in the now. And the now never goes away. So I suggest that people need to work on themselves in order to live in the now on a very high level. Take that level with them into the next moment, the next moment, the next moment. And never to think that the now goes away. It doesn't. It's always with us. And we bring to it exactly what we are. And I think this is a very terrific thing to learn, because then you can't blame anybody. It's nobody else's fault. You have to take total and complete responsibility for your life and the way you live it in the moment. Because it's telling you exactly where you're at. It's wonderful. If we just listen to it, if we're not afraid of it, we don't run away from it, we don't just listen. Let it teach us what we have to do. Because it is a reflection of each and every one of us. It's very interesting because I've never taught it this way, Larry. I've always talked about this, but never quite like this. You know, and I think I just learned something remarkable for your question. So thank you.
Thank you, Stuart.
The best part is you can't blame anybody. We're masters at blaming everybody for what's wrong in life. Never looking in the mirror and saying, hey, what do I have to do? This moment reflects me. And everybody I see in this moment is a reflection of me. Then the moment becomes sacred. Does anyone else have a question? Very good questions today. Wrote out a lot of remarkable stuff. I keep saying it to every class, you know, your presence here, it teaches me so much, demands of me to go so deep inside myself that to me, it's, you know, and I've been doing this for a long time. And it's only the last few years I realized how essential it is to sit in these meditation classes and learn from the people that come. Does anyone else have a question? I would like to. The next time you find yourself blaming everybody for what's wrong, take a look in a mirror. Say, no, it's me. It's the way I see the world. There's 8 billion people that see unique realities, each and every one of them. It's the way one sees it. That creates the now. And if you change inside, the now changes. Does anyone else have a question?
Hi, Stuart. It's Leisha. Um, just following the first question made me think about, I don't know if it was intended in the question, but it got me thinking about the difference between um kind of pushing and efforting to open versus kind of surrendering and releasing to open. And
Those are the two dragons that fight inside every human being. And my suggestion, Leisha, and look, almost every day I talk about this. Let go, surrender. Don't make it happen because you can't make it happen. Just surrender, let go, and relax as deeply inside yourself as you can possibly relax. And then the breath, focus of the attention inside below that will make it happen. But if you try to force yourself to open, you're just going to make yourself tighter and tighter and tighter inside. It's surrendering, it's letting go, it's relaxing, which is not an easy thing to do.
I hadn't worked out that that wasn't the way to do it. I kind of alternate between the two, but I wasn't sure which was. I know that the pushing one isn't very
Lisa,
successful.
can you do me one enormous favor?
Yes.
Stop thinking about it.
Okay.
Just do it. Okay? Stop thinking about this. Stop analyzing it. Stop trying to figure it out. Just bring your attention below the navel. Understand? Feel gratitude in your heart. Take a breath into the heart chakra. Swallow. Just do it without having to analyze it and figure it out. I've been doing this 50 years now, dear. I don't understand it.
Okay.
I know it works. What do I have to understand? At first, oh, I'm going to take it. I thought about it, breathing. And I said, Stuart, stop it. You're just masturbating. You know? Just do it. It works. And I stopped, and then all of a sudden it began to work. So, look, stop analyzing. You're going to discover this extraordinary human being inside you. I see it. Now I want you to get to where you can see it also. I mean it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Does anyone else have a question I would like to ask? Okay, if there are no more questions, there'll be meditation on Thursday. Looking forward to seeing everybody. Thank you. I told you, you all, I've stopped being a guru. You all have become my guru. Your presence here teaches me so much, and I can't have anything but gratitude. So God bless everybody, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all on Thursday. Have a wonderful day and tomorrow, and see you then.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Stuart.
you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.